take a quick look at our tail of tape here before we get started. And we can see here some of the stats and facts about our guys here. Peter Zuchi, 26, 6 feet tall, weighing in at 221. Gabriel, 30 years old, 5'11" and 216. And let's jump into our third match here of the Grand Prix. Peter with the tribute there to Leandro Lowe, a longtime friend and training partner of his. Opens up with a strong attack right into mount, moving towards the back now.
He's awarded 2 points, wasn't settled in mount for long enough to get those points, but doesn't look like he is phased by that as he looks to move to the back and awarded an advantage for his mount attempt.
What a beautiful start for Peter Zuchi. That was incredible. I think a lot of people expected him to come out and attack from the feet, wrestle a little bit, but he had a different idea there. Now he's looking here for a finish in the first minute.
Yeah, he is fully locked in on the back. As a reminder, there are not any points for this figure 4 position from the back, so he'll have to put hooks in if he wants to look for his 4. But often, and as I say that, there he is. But a lot of times, athletes will settle for collecting that figure 4 position just to secure the position.
He's looking to finish his choke over the jaw.
I was going to say big squeeze over the face and with legs crossed in the center, which is something we are always told not to do, although don't think he's any danger of a footlock right now.
Oliveira survives that initial attack, but he is certainly not out of danger, but now he comes to top.
Wow. What a return for Oliveira. That was a tight squeeze over the face there, Chase.
Yeah, that didn't feel good. You can see Oliveira there moving his jaw around a little bit. If he wasn't awake, he certainly is now. And opening up with some strong passing here. He's got to look at the back now of Zuchi.
Wow, what a turn of events. Look at that grip with his right hand on the pants. That was super, super smart for him to now elevate this leg and use that to control Zuchi's base.
And Oliveira now putting a pace on Zuchi. What a reversal in this match here.
Yep, finding his way to the back clinch again.
This match is crazy. I thought it was going to be over a minute ago. And here we have total reversal of fortune here.
You know, it looked like he had to look at an armbar in that very beginning opening sequence, right? And he kind of settled in for the back instead. But no points for the back, right? Because he had those feet crossed when he had the hooks in. I see a similar, a little bit of a reminiscent look of Cyborg and Zucconi earlier, but maybe a bigger bite on that first hook for Oliveira.
Oliveira dives over, chasing the back as well.
Zuchi very smart to move to that open hook side so he can start to try to put his left hip on the ground and start to escape his hips out. But he has to do that with also being careful with his neck here, not leaving his neck out and unprotected.
We just saw this scenario, but just reversed. Of course, only one hook in right now for Oliveira. I think he would love to find a way for that second hook to come in and score. But he's also a patient, experienced competitor. He's not going to rush anything and risk giving away this position here.
So Oliveira has an option here, right? He can keep looking for the back and the choke, or if he decides that it's more appropriate, he can switch his right leg over across the hip, and he can start to look for the mount. And it looks like his hips are coming up a little bit. The nice thing about this position is he can come up to his left knee and try to reset the back by rolling over, or he can go to the mount. But really, really tricky to do with someone as smart and as agile as Zuchi, because any space given to him, he's going to start to escape and maybe reverse the position.
I'd love to get a little tighter here in this shot, see a little bit more of the grip fighting going on.
Going to see Oliveira maybe looking for an underhook to come up or a crossface, but Zuchi doing a great job bringing his hips out and then back up to the knees. So we've had almost the same exact sequence with one in front of the other back to back.
Quick reset, and we are ready to go here.
Gente, sabe como trabalha o quadril, sabe como trabalha a pegada.
Interesting option from Zuchi here to have that double armpit control, or I'm sorry, that single armpit control and then the collar grip on the right side, instead of opting to try to control the sleeve in order to stand up. So it leaves his his right arm a little bit in danger, right? We can see Oliveira climbing his guard higher as he attacks the right arm of Zuchi, which he has complete ability to do since both of his arms are free.
You have to wonder if he's even baiting maybe omoplata, right? His arm was very far over at one point there.
I also saw a little bit of a look at it like that tilt sweep, but Zuchi's patience, I think, paying off there, keeping his base nice and strong, able to open the guard in a little bit of a safer way, not expose too much in the process. But now with this right lasso position from Oliveira, this shallow, this kind of like mid-range lasso makes things very difficult for the top player because as you start to pass, your opponent has the opportunity to go deep lasso. They can switch off to omoplatas. They can fire up triangles. They can switch to other guards. I mean, it is a very, very annoying position to be in. And as I say that, right, we see Oliveira bring his right leg back to the hip, so he can switch guards very easily while still having the option of going to deep lasso and not being too overcommitted.
Boa, Blade. Boa, Blade.
Inversion, almost a look at an arm maybe there for Oliveira for a moment. Zuchi able to open the guard, but it seems that Oliveira does a great job staying in very like a measured control from start to finish, from the closed guard all the way through all the open guard positions and then back into closed. He never looked like he felt in danger. He looked like he was controlling the grips and kind of shifting from guard to guard, really setting the pace in this position, even though Zuchi was able to kind of open, get to his feet for a moment. And then Zuchi again utilizing that armpit control, though now opts to bring his right hand to the collar. I'm sorry, his left hand to the collar, it seems.
We see Oliveira opening the guard here, kind of beckoning Zuchi to stand up. Zuchi, though, playing very measured approach here on top. He knows he's ahead on the scorecards with time dwindling here. This is a frustrating position to be in as a bottom player.
Vamos bem agora, Blade. Estamos com a pegada em dia. Boa, já entrou embaixo, já entrou embaixo.
See a little bit of elevation there from Oliveira, enough to kind of get to that far leg, scoop under for just a moment. Now we see the very interesting position with Zuchi on his left knee and his shin. Not an easy position to stay balanced on because Oliveira has control of that pant grip. So there really isn't a lot of base in Zuchi's left leg. Although, as I say that, now the grip is released, we're back in the closed guard. And like you said, Chase, it's going to be very uncomfortable for the bottom player when you're trying to open the guard and make something happen. It's hard to tell sometimes in these positions who's making the action happen and who's defending, right? Because if I'm being very active and my opponent is responding to my activeness, then it may not be obvious to the referee if someone is in more of a stalling position or a stalling attitude.
Vamos pisar em bíceps e abrir a postura dele, Blade.
Faltam 2 minutos, então, tá certinho, sem errar. Não deixe fechar, joelho no meio, um no meio, um no meio.
Boa, boa.
I forget the name of this sweep, but it's almost like people, you lock your legs around the knees or the calves of your opponent as they stand. You tilt them over. It's pretty wild to see that sweep in action. It can end up in a lot of different kinds of scrambles and flurries, but clearly what that's showing us is Oliveira is really working to score. I mean, repeatedly he's going to different guards. He's opening his guard. You could see him here opening his guard and kind of looking up, wondering, is there, does there have to be more action? What do I need to do? And just as I say that, we do see a first penalty here called for Zuchi. The question, though, is there enough time on the clock for that to come into play if Zuchi were to continue his same path to victory?
Yeah, we really haven't seen Zuchi make a serious attempt to pass in quite some time here. He has, as you mentioned, reacted quite well to any of Oliveira's attacks. But we see him settling now back down to this close guard. He'll be willing to eat, I think, at least one more penalty.
Yeah, as we know, one more penalty will lead to an advantage, so he'll still have his 2-point lead, right? He would have to rack up 2 penalties in this time period in order to put those 2 points on the board, and I just don't think that we're going to have enough time on the clock for something like that. So even as we receive the second penalty, I don't think Zuchi's going to be too worried. And Oliveira clearly, still really working to see if he can make something happen here in the last 25 seconds.
Vai, se ajeita. Tira o joelho do chão, tira o joelho do chão. Isso, não leva mais posição. 10 segundos. Volta, volta.
One last sweep attempt here for Oliveira. He does get underneath that leg, but Zuchi keeps his base really, really far back. Very comfortable to ride out this top close guard position for this 2-point lead.
Well, the first half of that match was exceptional. The second half, I think we saw the cost of that for that early flurry, right? Both guys really sold out early in this match, chasing the back and some submissions. Second half, a little more cautious, but we see Hidor Zuchi making his way to the next round of competition here.
And advancing to the absolute semifinals, Hidor Zuchi representing Jiu-Jitsu.